What's going on, guys? Awesome here, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at 5 Minute Fantasy's Week 6 power rankings. That should say Week 6, but at the bottom of the NFL right here, we have the same rankings as we did last week up until the number 27th. As you can see, Jaguars, Lions, Jets, Texans, Giants haven't changed, but these Raiders right here, they're dropping pretty deep for a number of reasons. Down here at the bottom, we've got the Washington football team, -2 rankings. They were 24th last week. That's what those numbers mean. Falcons, a win against the Jets doesn't really mean much to me. Dolphins, getting your butt handed to you is not okay. Losing is okay. Getting your butt handed to you is not. You get demoted for that. Eagles come away with an amazing victory, comeback victory over the Carolina Panthers, who I have as a very good team. So they get heavily rewarded for that. And the same thing with the Steelers. They came up with a really good victory against a team that I think is relatively good. So they get bumped up for that. Vikings, minus their best player, Dalvin Cook. It's a close game. It's against the Lions. You don't want to play close games with the Lions. But so far, that's worked out for other teams this year, and they managed to squeak out a victory. Right here, we've got the Colts +1. Even though they lost to the Ravens, they played an amazing game, especially an amazing first half. Bears beat up on the Raiders, who, like I said, they've dropped pretty far down. The Patriots, they go on the road, and even though it was way too close of a game for comfort, they proved to be resilient. Mac Jones led 2 consecutive scoring drives to end the game and to win the game. Broncos get knocked down too. I saw flashes of what I liked from them, but you can't put up that kind of a performance in the first 3 quarters of the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who up until this game had been 1-3, I think. And then the Seahawks, out of respect to Pete Carroll, the amazing weapons that they have on offense, and the good schemes that they have, I'm only going to knock them down 2. But if Russell Wilson continues to miss time and the defense looks as bad as they did in the second half, then they're gonna have more problems. I got the Saints +3. I really liked what I saw from Jameis. I predicted that he would have a big game against that porous defense, and I think this is the first step for the Saints actually finding themselves in the Jameis Winston era. The Tennessee Titans, they beat up on a bad Jacksonville Jaguars team in a comeback game, missing their receivers again, but they found a way this time against another one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Browns stay where they were. The Browns are a little too beat up to move up for a very, very close loss, but I've got too much respect for Kevin Stefanski and that amazing run game, the amazing offensive line, the great wide receivers, and the really good defensive front to bump them down for a loss. The San Francisco 49ers, they moved down 1. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more offense from Trey Lance. I understand that the Cardinals have a good defense, but when you hold the Cardinals to 17 points, you've got to find a way to win that game. And then the Chiefs are coming down 6. I was tentative bringing them down after 2 consecutive losses to the Chargers and the Ravens. They showed out against the Eagles, which Eagles aren't a great team, but after you get your butt completely handed to you at home again, this time by the Buffalo Bills, so far they've lost to 3 of the 4 best teams in the AFC, and it's not looking good for them. They're still at 11 out of respect to their amazing weapons, their amazing head coach, and their amazing quarterback. I've got the Carolina Panthers at 10. I'm not going to move them because I think that 9 times out of 10 they win that game. But somehow the Eagles pass rush got to Sam Darnold every single third down that the Panthers met. I know Sam Darnold is kind of turnover prone, but I don't think you'll get him to throw 3 interceptions again. And so that's why I have them at 10. Bengals, without their logo, accidentally missed the Bengals logo on that one. I have them coming up 7. I was a little nervous on the Bengals, but after showing out in several consecutive weeks, they're now 3-2. They could very easily be 4-1. But even in that close loss, a field goal wins them that game. I like the Bengals as a top 10 team in the NFL. I'm bringing up the Chargers 1. It seems like they've gone for every fourth down, whether it's 2 yards or 5 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards. back in their own territory or on the goal line. Doesn't matter. Chargers are ballsy. Their head coach is probably my candidate, Brandon Staley, for Coach of the Year up to this point. And Justin Herbert looks like the second best quarterback in the AFC behind Lamar Jackson. At 7, I've got the Cowboys, who are very similar to the Chargers in that they do almost everything very well. They really haven't played very poorly in any game at all. Now they did lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that close game, but other than that, they've rattled off 4 straight wins. The only team on a longer winning streak is the Arizona Cardinals, who are 5-0. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1 game above the Dallas Cowboys. All these teams moved up, +1, because the Chiefs moved pretty far down. The Chiefs were at 6, so the Buccaneers, Cowboys, and Chargers all move up 1 because the Buccaneers have beat the Cowboys and the Cowboys have beaten the Chargers. The only reason I have the Buccaneers so high is out of respect to the greatest offensive personnel I've ever seen in the history of the NFL. They've got 3 all-pro wide receivers, not even including Scotty Miller. They've got 3 Pro Bowl caliber tight ends. They've got an offensive line that's just Pro Bowl stacked. Bruce Arians, one of my favorite offensive coaches of all time. And of course, Tom Brady, who even in the 4th quarter up 20 against the Dolphins, still wants to pass, 6 out of 7 plays, but that's not the point. And then my top 5 right here, the cream of the crop, the 5 best teams in the NFL. You'll notice that the Packers, the Rams, and the Ravens, even after winning this week, they all moved down 1. That's because they didn't have great wins. I could have easily put the Bills at 5 and left these other teams up at the top, but Packers played the Bengals just a little too close. Rams played the Seahawks, at least for the first half, just a little too close. And the Ravens, for a majority of that game, played the Colts just a little too close. I like that in that order. I could be persuaded to put them in any other order. I'd most likely end up putting the Packers down at 5 and then just bumping the Rams and the Ravens up 1 respectively. But otherwise, I like where they're at. The Bills come up a lot because I believe since their week 1 loss, they've outscored opponents something silly, like 200-40. They have the highest point differential in the NFL. They have the best defense in the NFL. They've got the best running game in the NFL. And they've got one of the deepest defensive front 7s in the NFL. And then at the top, the Arizona Cardinals, who right now don't do anything particularly poorly. The Bills' resume looks better than theirs. The Chargers' resume looks better than theirs. But out of respect to that 5-0 record and the MVP favorite, Kyler Murray, I've got them as the #1 team in the NFL. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And be on the lookout tomorrow for our 5-minute fantasy hits or booms and busts and the extra points lines of the week.